everyone. Welcome back. It is Monday evening. I am Leah Hinton, singer songwriter, show host, confidence and voice and mindfulness coach. And thank you so much for joining us again. We are here with a series, Chat with Friends, Flying Free, Singing Through Fear. And I have some good friends of mine joining today. I'm so excited. So let's go ahead and bring them on. We have here with us Adiia and Briana'Lise. Hey,
Hi.
ladies.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. Good.
Very
Really
good.
good.
Really good. Okay. Excellent. Thank you both for joining us today. I'm so excited to dig in here. So let's get into it. So quick intro. Why don't you give a quick intro of yourself and a quick backstory of your relationship to fears in singing? Let's start with you, Adia.
Okay. Hi, guys. My name is Adiia from Dallas, Texas. And my relationship with music, I've been doing music since I was about 11 years old. Wanted to be a performer and then chose to go to Interlochen Arts Academy and then Berkeley. And now I just do my own music on the side here in the Dallas area, mainly Afro beats. And in relation to fears, I would say with fears, I have like sometimes we have fears like going on stage or like prepping to go on stage. So the best way to, I guess, like mingle that is to pretty much just rehearse and I guess like use that as part of your space. And a lot of times when I am like fearful on stage, I like to look out in the audience, but I like to look above heads. So I don't actually see their face. It makes it a lot easier to perform.
That's true. That's true. Good, good, good. We're gonna keep digging. We're gonna get some more. What about you? What about you, Brianna?
Um, what about me? I started singing when I was like 7. Mostly songwriting when I was 7, and then I started singing around 7.5, 8. Now I am on the wedding circuit, so sing as a wedding singer, and I have my own personal band that's more so R&B and soul. My biggest fear as a vocalist are um like big belty songs, like the Aretha Franklin and Whitney, like the bridge. Sometimes like that's the biggest note, and you're like, ooh, I wanna sustain the note like them, but there's levels to that too because sometimes it's levels to all of that. But that's one of my fears is trying to emulate like the greats, especially like for those big notes and belty notes.
Right. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. Okay, okay. And what? How is? Where do you feel like you are in your current journey as far as fears in singing? Like, do you still feel like you have some stage fright or even performance anxiety or nervousness or anything like that? Or does it feel like you pretty much conquered it?
It comes in waves. I would say that more so like even after the belt, aside from the belt notes, lyrics. Like if I have not done my due diligence in learning my lyrics in time, then that gives me anxiety. But it comes in waves. I think the more practice, the better. So you kind of like it, like in terms of a song, if there's a big belt note, I'll try to like slide or glide into it versus like hitting it like right on it, just to experiment with it. Because in the wedding circuit, you just have to repeat songs over and over again, so you get a chance to do it in different and approach notes in different ways. So it's just like, yeah.
Yeah. Love that. I love me a good slide. Okay. How about you, Adia?
For me, it's more the stage fright, like I said earlier. So, you can prepare as much as possible, but I feel like you're not prepared to sometimes not be on stage with as many people as there are just looking at you. So, for me, it's the repetitive practice, and then taking a deep breath, and then getting on stage and trying to make it seem like they're not there and perform the best I can.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like engaging with the audience helps or the opposite?
The opposite for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
So
mhm. Go ahead.
for me, it's okay to I guess like get the audience involved in your song or whatsoever, but to directly like engage with them, it's a little tough for me.
Yeah.
And especially with the type of music I do a lot of like dance music and it's Afro pop, so I'm always moving. So that even helps too.
Yeah. Why do you feel like it's hard to engage with the audience?
Um if it's on a personal level, I just feel like it makes it for me it makes me more nervous
Okay.
at times. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I kind of had to just make it seem like they're not actually there so I can
Uh,
actually successfully perform.
do you feel like a little bit of that is how you feel personally, like in your own personal life, or do you feel like it's just on stage?
On stage.
Okay, so you would be fine if you were just maybe just kind of speaking with people
Right.
and with the crowd or something. Okay, okay. How about you, Brianna? You and you tend to engage the audience a lot in your performances. You enjoy that?
Yeah,
Does that feel cool?
I do enjoy it. I enjoy reciprocity. So whatever emotion I'm trying to evoke, like I just want the audience to be captivated. I feel like it gives me more energy. So whether that's up tempo or like a slower song, like a ballad, like I just want them to be engaged. So
Mhm.
it's kind of like a necessity to me. Otherwise, I'm bored. And
Mhm.
the dancing does help because that helps with boredom on stage because people are eating their food and you singing your heart out. You like, excuse me, stop, watch me. Thank you, I'm
Oh,
here. But
exactly.
yeah, that helps me. I like to be engaged with the audience. I actually prefer it.
Okay. Okay. That's cool. Interesting. Yeah. Kind of get both sides there. Yeah, I think engaging with the audience, I definitely think it does depend on. I mean, you don't want to say depends on the audience, but definitely, like you're saying with reciprocity, you kind of get what they give you, and you try to give them, and that they will give it to you back, and sometimes they don't.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm just like, okay,
Yep.
anybody home? Is this thing on?
I think that's why for
Exactly.
me I like the type of music I do
Uh huh.
because I'm always having to be moving and I have dancers, so it makes it a lot easier versus having to do like solos and individually engage because that's even tougher for me.
Right. Okay. Well, what about getting the crowd dancing though?
Ooh. Honestly, I feel like um okay, so I would say like my last show that I did,
Uh
I
huh.
feel like
Uh oh.
Uh-oh.
can you guys see me?
Okay.
A
Yeah.
call just came through.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay. Well, I can't hear you anymore.
Let's see. I can.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
You can't hear.
I can't hear you.
Okay. Let me try one thing here. Let's, can you hear us now?
Try it one more time.
Okay. Can you hear us now?
Nope. Not working.
Oh
Do you want
no.
me to log off and I log back on?
Yeah, log off and log back in.
Okay.
So back to you, Brianna. So getting the
Mm-hmm.
crowd involved, you feel pretty good about that. What is there any aspect as far as engaging the crowd that doesn't make you feel comfortable?
Any aspect that doesn't make me feel comfortable
Mm-hmm.
about engaging them? Huh.
And it may be nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Okay.
Like I prefer that.
Okay.
So yeah.
Was it always that way, or was that a journey?
That was definitely a journey, but I think even at a younger age and not being solid in my voice and I still wanted to have I wanted them to be captivated
Mm-hmm.
regardless. But I just knew even when I was younger, maybe the skill set wasn't all the way there. But once you start gaining that trust, it kind of comes like naturally. Like once they hear that, oh, she's hitting the notes or that sounds like the record, then it's like captivating becomes easier. Because I feel like just over the years of performing like live, that's really all people want to hear is you sound like the record. And that's what I heard so many times, like being on cruise ships and being in bands. We want it exactly like the record. So just emulating artists helps captivate them too, because they're like, oh, that kind of sounds like Whitney. That's not Whitney, but it sounds like her.
Mm,
So there's similarities with mimicking.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
an interesting point. Yeah, people do love, and I think we ourselves too do like to hear it like the record. But I think as artists, we do like to put our own spin on it, and
Hmm.
some people are like, no, we want it, we want it just
Exactly.
heard. That's it. Um,
Exactly.
so sometimes it does feel a little, just a little limiting, especially if you're doing a whole show just like the record. Like, especially for me, because I like the improv and stuff. So it's like, man, I need a little something different going on here.
Yes.
You hear us,
Indeed.
Adia?
I can hear y'all.
Okay, awesome. So back to you. Uh, you were talking about your comfort with engaging and getting the crowd dancing. How are you feeling on that?
Okay, so with that, I feel like just the music itself uh makes the crowd move anyways. And then the movements that I have with the dancers and the choreography already helps with that, to be able to engage, because a lot of the movement that we were doing would be like get the crowd to try to do the movement with us, and a lot of the dancers would spread out and do the same thing as well, try to get the audience to do the dance as well, so that helps a lot.
Right. That's good. That's good. Yeah. How do you, with those moments that you feel like a little tense or a little uncomfortable, what are you thinking in that moment? How, how you're supposed to get past it? What do you
Like the nervousness,
think?
or
Mm-hmm.
for me it's once I get on stage. For me, like, to get past the nervous feeling, once I start actually performing, um it kind of goes away.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't take me too long or that long. It's just the initial aspect of getting on stage.
Okay. So then what are your thoughts there initially?
Initially, before I get on, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
nervous wreck. I'm a nervous wreck.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm afraid of like how the performance will go. I'm not sure, like, okay, am I gonna remember my movements, my choreography? Um, is the music gonna skip? Because I do a lot of stuff with backing tracks
Mm-hmm.
for the type of music I do. So
Okay.
those are things I'm always like afraid of, the mishaps.
Has that ever happened? The music skipped?
It did, but I was lucky because I actually had a live band on top of my track as well. And it was at the House of Blues of Dallas. It
Wow.
stopped working, so I had to like improv. All of us had to improv.
Track just stopped.
Yeah, the track just stopped. It really was I think it was like a chord or something like that.
Huh?
In the sound system.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Yeah, but I was glad I had a live band with it too. That at that moment,
Dang.
Yeah.
because I wouldn't know what to do and the dancers and all that. So like,
Uh,
yeah,
wow. Okay, and so going on stage, you're nervous, and then getting into the music, you start to feel better, right? As
yeah, a lot better, a lot.
and what's making you feel better as you come along?
Uh, I believe for me it's just everything going smoothly at that moment. Um, including with like the dancers and stuff. For me, that's what's making me feel much more comfortable and to perform in front of the people and stuff. So
Mm-hmm. Do you feel the same way, Brianna? Do you ever get nervous ahead of time and beforehand?
Yeah, like if it's a special song, like for a special dance, I do get a little nervous for those because they're so sentimental.
Mm,
Um, but other than that, if I don't really, I care about my songs, but I do them so often that if they don't hold any sentimental value for the crowd, then I'm just like, okay, let's do it, you know? So,
yeah. Okay. So I'm wanting to get into your minds. So okay. So you're feeling the nervousness, right? Because I think, and maybe we don't think about it, you know, but when you're feeling nervous to the point
mhm.
of I'm no longer nervous, walk me through that. What are you thinking? What are you doing physically, mentally to get you through it? What's happening around you on stage in your body and your mind? What is that process? How long is it? Is it 5 minutes? Is it one song, two songs?
for me, it takes at least one song. It'll be like in the middle of the song or as I'm progressing and uh also like feeling or hearing like the crowd like get excited
Mhm.
either in my song where it gets to the climax where I belted or the movements are much more extreme. I start to feel more comfortable after that.
Mm.
Gotcha. So getting that stage, I mean that audience response
Yeah.
initially.
Mm.
Okay, good. Is there anything? Let's say the crowd is just kind of, those crowds. So they're just like, not doing a poor job. They're just chilling, honestly. So if it's a crowd like that, how are you getting past that nervousness then?
Oh, those are tough too. Those are tougher.
So,
Trying to think of a moment that I've actually had that happen.
mm,
Even with that, I would say I think just continuing to perform or sing the song
Mm.
yeah,
makes it. It's just like I'm just trying to get through through the performance and stuff. I think that helps a little bit.
yeah,
Um, even though the audience reaction is not as positive as I would like it to be, but
right.
just doing it and just getting through it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. What about you, Brianna?
When Adia said after the first song, I felt that
Mm,
because it's most like for I'm kind of like keeping it with the wedding circuit right now because I don't really get I won't say ever, but I don't really get nervous on my gigs because I can modify my set list if I'm like sick, if I'm on my cycle, whatever. So I can be like, no, we're not doing that no more. We can scrap
mhm,
that. But with
mhm,
the wedding songs, if somebody has a song that they need played. Like once I get over that song, I'm good. But in regards to a boring crowd that's just looking at you, you just gotta like that's where the love and the passion comes forth, because you can kind of channel something else like, oh, I can master this part of the song now, because they're not really, I guess, paying attention, but they are paying attention. But it's like you're more focused on the technique versus their reception of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to like, I try to channel, like still make it productive, but like if I'm not gonna get the energy from y'all, then I need to get it from somewhere. And then if I'm nervous, prayer always helps. Like if I need to be like, Lord, please, like I now before every gig, I try to be super diligent with giving my gig to the Most High. Cause Lord, I be like, my voice is scratchy, or I've been around somebody that was smoking or whatever, and it's just like, Lord, just take the gig.
Yep.
Let us be successful. Let us, within the unit, let us be working as a team. And then once I say that prayer, I'm good. I'm ready
Mm,
to go.
I know that's right.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, we need that prayer. In the words of MC Hammer, we got to pray just to make it today.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know about that one. That was before y'all time. No. For my yeah, yeah. No, that's good though, because I think a lot of people wonder like what is that, how does that transition from nervousness to not, not so nervous. And I hear that a lot too. Maybe 1 to 3 songs in, you
Mhm.
start to relax and you're like, okay, I feel a lot more comfortable now, and I can finally enjoy the music.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
one other thing is, I know that I'm not super disciplined with this, but warming up.
Yes.
Because I don't know why it's not as ingrained as it should be in me. But like warming up will let you know, like, you can't do that today, boo.
Yep.
Today's not gonna happen. So don't even just change the key, break it down, do what you need to do, approach that note in a different way. But today it's not gonna happen for whatever reason. So just warm up and figure out where your voice is before, so you can have foreknowledge about, okay, this is how I'm gonna approach that, or you can have more leverage that way.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah, I definitely feel that. And speaking of keys, how do y'all feel about this? Is kind of a sidebar. How do y'all feel about changing keys? Because I know some musicians, they're like, man, don't be changing keys. And some are like, you better change the key. How do y'all do that?
I think it's really more so that you can be comfortable with it. Because if that key is not comfortable for you and it's too high, then you're not gonna sound good. So it's more about you than more of the musicians. I mean, the people are gonna be listening to the vocals. So
Mhm.
Mhm.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Um, I rarely change the key of the song only because it's so ingrained in me to do it like the record. But in the rare case that it's not in my register for whatever reason, um, we gonna bring that thing down a half step. Let's bring it down. Aretha don't do it like that live, so I don't need to do it like that
Hey,
right.
live. She did that in the studio and stacked her vocals, and I'm not trying to compete with that, because that's not what I'm not doing that.
exactly.
That's
So
true.
complain about changing keys. I'm like, artists who originated the song are changing their key. I'm like, they're not even
Mhm.
doing it. So come
Mhm.
on. But it always is a nice challenge to do it in the original key. If
Yeah,
like
it
a
is.
out of your range key, but it is a nice challenge. So sometimes I take on that challenge, and sometimes so it
Right.
depends. Um, and going back to warming up, and that's kind of tying into the preparedness of your performance. Um, do you feel like being unprepared or more prepared adds to feeling less nervous, or do you feel like it affects it in any way?
I think being more prepared helps. It helps relieve like just tensions of uh I guess just thinking the performance is not going to go good or whatsoever. But I mean, of course you'll have like mishaps or things happen in between, but if you're more prepared, that would help you balance that as well while you're performing.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
What does prepared look like? Prepared.
For me, prepared is for me, um, lots and lots of water, like lots of water or coconut water or something that's gonna hydrate me because Adiia, you mentioned that you dance. That's a lot of energy that you're exerting anyway.
Mm.
So add the elements of heat and all of that, and your vocals are like, this is too much. So
Yeah, exactly.
getting a lot of fluids down. I prefer to like if this was like my ideal, like I'm about to sing background for Beyonce or open up for Beyonce, like drinking a whole bunch of fluids the night before, warming up, sleeping with the humidifier on. Like that's like, like but I rarely get that time because life is life.
Hmm.
So if I am scramming, then just a whole bunch of water like 5 hours before.
I try not to talk for 2 days.
Okay,
So
too.
pretty much the day before and then like the day of, like up to maybe like 2 to 3 hours before I'm about to go on and perform. And then that gives me some time to like warm up. And then drinking tea and honey,
Mm.
to soothe my throat.
Hmm.
And then of course doing the warm ups 2 to 3 hours before. Yep.
Okay.
One more thing. So we said that we mentioned what we do, but what we avoid. I avoid alcohol, obviously smoke, and that's like from other people or just ingesting. Um, I like to stay like in humid areas, like naturally humid. Like I don't need it super dry. Like just keep it moist. You know, that's my thing.
Hmm.
Steaming too.
Yeah.
Avoiding ice cold water.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Definitely. Definitely. And I like what you said, not talking for 2 days. I think that definitely takes some discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that I think that's pretty good because you definitely want your voice to be rested. And especially if your work or your job requires you to use, if you're singing a lot already, or if you're talking a lot, maybe you have a job or something like that, you're going to be using your voice. So it does need that rest before a performance, if possible.
Hmm.
Mm.
Good. So in that 2 days, you're not talking, and then you'll wait till maybe the day before or the day of to warm up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Nice. Good discipline.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, that's good. But yeah, like you said, bring water for sure. For sure. Now, how do you feel about confidence in your personal life versus your stage life? Do they intertwine? Are they totally separate? What are your thoughts there?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Um, I'm like, I'm confident on stage, but in real life, I'm like, whoa. Like singing on stage definitely gives me an opportunity to fake the funk sometimes. So, I don't think that one has to be like I don't think they both have to be on the same level for you to be successful on the stage. It's just how you use what you're going through in your personal life and how you channel it on stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 That's right. I agree. Definitely agree. For me, it definitely is like confidence on stage. As far as like personal life, I mean, I have confidence to talk to people, but that sometimes takes me some time too. Is if I don't know you, I'm not gonna right away like just start talking to you like that. It take me some time to warm up.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that sometimes like when a song is like more melancholy, it can help. Like if you're melancholy or if you are like trying to survive and you can tell somebody like I'm doing that too. Like if the song is resonating with where you are emotionally, it
Mm-hmm.
can help heal you and heal others. So it just depends on like I said, how you channel it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you mentioned that on stage is kind of the fake the funk and confidence. Do you feel like being more confident in your personal life would aid to a more real and authentic confidence on stage?
Hmm. Um Confidence. Hmm. It just depends on the song. I would say not necessarily, no. Because I could be happy but have to sing a sad song and that's not I'm not confident in my sadness, but I could be confident in my technique. It depends on like what do you mean by confidence?
I just mean all your general performance. So not necessarily song by song, but just
Uh,
confident in your show, in your ability, in your voice, all of that. Do you feel
oh yeah, I feel like if I'm naturally happy like with my personal life, yeah, like I could walk away. But it yeah, I'm gonna let Adia go because that's kind of like that's a different question.
so maybe what you're saying maybe is moment to moment. So maybe not like an overall confidence because you can look at it both ways. Maybe there's an overall confidence where you're like, okay, I'm good personally and I'm going to be good on stage. Or maybe it's like a moment to moment where I'm not really feeling confident right now personally. And
Mm-hmm.
so therefore maybe it could affect my stage performance or maybe it won't. That's that's what I'm trying to. What do you think, Audia?
I do think also it's by a like a basis like what you're stating earlier. But for me, I feel like okay, whatever's happening in my personal life, I don't put that on stage. So like if I'm going to perform, I'm going to fake it. And I'm going to perform and put on a show.
Mhm.
So that's how I feel about it.
So where does the faking coming at? Do you feel like you always are faking performance, or are you are,
It's like an alternate ego.
that's what I was gonna say. Is it like
Yeah, like the alternate
so?
ego, like
Okay.
Beyonce's Sasha Fierce.
Uh, okay. So
Yes,
that's
Adia.
always all the time.
Always, I feel that way
Mhm.
because it's like you don't want to put like whatever's going on behind you like on stage because then people are gonna see that.
Okay.
People, I feel like people are gonna feel it and see that in the way you're singing and the way you're performing. So you kind of have to like when you're getting ready to get on stage, you kind of have to leave that behind.
Okay. What if it to the persona or the character that you're playing?
Wait, repeat that one more time.
What if, however, you're feeling personally is aiding in that persona? Maybe there's a song. Again, I wasn't trying to bring it as a song, but I kind of went there. So, maybe what if it aids to that song? Let's say you're singing a sad song or something, and personally, you're feeling sad. So, would you then draw off of that, or still just leave that at the door and we're gonna be here?
I would still leave it out the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. So, do you feel like as a performer, everyone should kind of fake the funk, or is it, you know, depend on the person, depend on the artist?
It depends on the person and the artist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is there any situation where you would feel like you can just be Adiia on stage? Because again, that is your stage name.
Yeah, that is my
Oh,
stage name with
so
an
where
extra I.
with I exactly. The spelling is different, but it is
Yeah.
her name. So where does that change come in? The persona change.
Well, I think for me, it it depends, and it comes with the songs I sing. Because for me, I'm not necessarily always doing covers, and I'm not necessarily like always doing sad songs. Like my stuff is always movement
Mm-hmm.
and like dance and happy. Second, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
can't hear you.
Okay. Okay. Turn on your turn on your
Let
do not.
Brianna go. Let me leave out and come right back.
Okay. Yeah. So
What was
same
the
to you.
question?
What do you? Okay. So I was asking her, where does the persona change? And honestly, similar to you, your stage name is your name as well. I all of our stage names are our name.
Yeah. When does it change? Like when does it flip? When does it flip? It's so innate now. I think that that's a good question. Um, I think that after that outfit and that costume and that makeup comes on, that's when
Hmm. Interesting.
it
Oh,
wigs, whatever, like props, all of that, like that helped me get into it. But it's a mindset switch for real. And I wouldn't say it starts when you step on stage because you can sound check and still be in that mode. It's just whenever you feel like tapping into it, like I'm
mhm.
ready. Let's go.
So, is there any instance to where that persona is non-existent and it's just you?
Yeah, in my personal life.
Only in your
Well,
on stage. Is there ever a scenario where you're on stage and it's just you, truly you?
it's an extension of me.
Mm, okay.
Like having multiple personalities.
Mm, okay. Okay. What about? I'm just trying to think of something personal. Let's say maybe you know sometimes we sing at funerals. So what about that? Because that's not really a performance, you know what I mean? It still is a presentation as far
Hmm.
as far as a presentation, but it's a little different as far as the mood and the heart in it.
I still feel like a star at the funeral. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Like a song.
We're gonna be sad. We can cry, but it's a moment.
It's just okay.
It's a
Interesting.
moment.
Interesting. Okay. How about you, Adia?
Funerals. So if in an instance like that,
Mm-hmm.
um, for me, I would definitely go with like what's going on, the surrounding, the mood, um, and use that. I feel like it's not necessarily going to be a part of my personal life because I'm not bringing that persona back with me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but definitely, it just depends on that scenario.
Mm-hmm. So what about the funeral scenario for you?
Oh, that's what I was explaining. The funeral scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I'm not. It's. I don't know. I don't know how to explain that because I mean it's sad. So like it just goes with the flow of the music.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Right.
So
And I don't think it's necessarily just the part that it's sad. Yes, funerals are sad, but maybe it's, a loved one. And so are you still bringing that persona to that experience? Maybe you are. I
Mm.
don't. Maybe I am. I don't know. But does it does it feel like it's like you be your authentic self, or should you be the persona?
I feel like with a funeral, it's more authentic to me.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So not necessarily the Adiia persona.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And why so?
I think because it's just the environment and the
Mm-hmm.
solemn and the music and stuff like that. And my personality is I'm very like, I mean, I'm outgoing when I need to be outgoing, but like when it comes to different areas, I'm not as outgoing. So I just take that on and take that with include that with the music, and then be able to perform for that scenario.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting because I definitely think the persona is a way to perform. I think many people do that. And some people believe that, they just want to be themselves. I think a lot of it does kind of tie in a little bit together,
Mhm.
uh, maybe even unconsciously. I think a lot of it does kind of like blend together.
Intertwine, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Really interesting how to how to figure out how to separate the two, if you even want to. Yeah. Okay. Good. This is great, ladies. So such an interesting perspective. So what do you do? Kind of going back to just the moments of nervousness and just any type of fears. What do you feel that you can hold on um, to keep you going, or what have you held on to in the past? Like what keeps you going?
To keep going despite fear.
Past, yeah, past the fears, past the moments of many fears, past anything, any type of fear or rejection or pain or just trials in performing. I know we experience a lot in performing. So what keeps you going beyond that?
Honestly, it's just the love for it. The desire and the passion for it. Like I would honestly sing and not have to be compensated, but I do need to be compensated. But I would do
Right.
it for free because that is what
Right.
I desire. Like that's just something that I want. So that's where it comes from. That's where the tenacity comes from.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah. How about you, Adia?
I think the same thing too. Just performing is in our blood, and
Yeah.
it's just something we love to do. I think I was saying the other day, I was like, oh, I wish I was like really performing more like I was before COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I miss it. I miss being on stage. I miss preparing. I miss dancing with dancers and all that. So,
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, ladies.
You're welcome.
you're
And
welcome.
of course, tell people where they can find you and follow you, and if you have a little encouragement for the peoples in word and song, you'd like to. I want you to encourage the peoples.
Hey, Brianna, you want to go first?
Well, y'all can find me on Instagram, Briana apostrophe Lise. Any encouraging words? What is an encouraging word? In so many words, I mentioned Fix the Funk earlier, but I've been doing this since 8 or 9. So what has helped me throughout the years is to fake it until you make it. And that goes across the board, whether you're on stage or off stage. Like the persona that me and Adiia embody on stage, you can take that into other realms of your life. So when you're not feeling it or you're not there, just fake it until you make it, because you will make it. And that goes for songs. Like if you feel like you crashing out and it's horrible, just finish it. Just finish it and see it through to the end and smile at the end. One thing that Beyonce does so well is even though her environment it can be chaotic, she still will remain with a smile on her face. And that's what I love. It's like that's the persona. Because we know that she's not always happy. But just fake it. Fake it and you will get through. That's my word.
Okay, okay.
So you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Adiia the official. It's Adiia the official. And then one advice I can give is just to persevere and just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Never give up.
Right. That right. If it's what you love, don't give.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Awesome, ladies. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, Briana'Lise and Adiia. And it has been a chat with friends, flying free, sinking through fear. And we will see you all again next Monday. See you.